with another episode of Into the DB Film Room. And this week we have a little bit of a fun episode. We're going to jump into some Texans film, break down a couple plays from the Texans game. And then I was studying the film and it really wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. The Texans offense is like preseason football. Is what it looks like. It's
bad ball.
Bad. And I say this as someone who grew up, my favorite quarterback of all time was Tyrod Taylor. I was a big VT fan. I love Tyrod.
Hey, Tyrod was electric, man. He was electric at VT, bro.
He was, man. He was a stud. So it broke my heart to see how that offense was looking with him back there. And then it looked just as bad when Davis Mills came in. It was bad. Outside of the one play we're going to talk about in this top 10, it was just – there was nothing really to break down. Rocky Sin wasn't targeted. Isaiah Rodgers had 2 targets that weren't even somewhat catchable. Kenny had 3 targets. I think he had 1 pass breakup and a pick.
Lockdown. All the credits to the Colts secondary.
I think there was only 3 catches by receiver for the Texans, all by Brandon Cooks.
That's crazy.
That was it.
I'm glad I didn't start him on my fantasy team.
And I think one of them he beat Zaire Franklin at linebacker or something like that. It was just it was not worthwhile to break down that film. So what we did is I went through the old Into the DB Film Room videos that we had, and I pulled out some of the best clips of the year, and I had Hag rank kind of where he would put these plays and according to technique, ability, skill, stuff like that. And he put together a ranking here. I put the video in his order, and I'm going to critique it a little bit as we go. But we're going to go through.
Give my rebuttal. I'll give my rebuttal, man.
Yeah, give your rebuttal. There's one big disagreement I have. You guys are going to stick around for number 1. That's the biggest disagreement I have is at number 1. But we're going to get to that here. Let's jump into these clips here. Let me get the share screen going. And we're going to jump into it. So number 10, and I understand. I put this at number 10 as well. I completely agree. It's a great example of finishing, but the whole rep is obviously not super clean by Rocky Sin.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my biggest thing.
Yeah, because we're talking the 10 best plays here. Mm-hmm. It's going to be some tough choices. We love how he finishes it here, but it does get kind of cooked off the line a little bit.
Yeah. It's about how you finish, and he eventually got the recovery, but wasn't compared to the other plays. It just wasn't the splash in the pan that the other plays were.
Yep, and this was a big play. I think it was back in week 3 when the Colts played the Titans in this matchup. Huge play, great finish. Again, we always talk finishing on this show. That's the biggest thing. Even if you're beat, just finish the rep. And Rocky Sin does a great job here of getting his hand in there and forcing that fumble. Yep, just great play. And then I think he got touchdown, but just to get up and return it a little bit.
It's effort. It's all effort, bro. I mean.
Yeah, just a very, very solid play. And that's why it comes in at number 10. It was a turnover, but again, technique-wise, not the best. But we have seen that. And, if this was Rocky Sin these past couple of weeks, we'd probably see a pass breakup or something there because he's just been on a different level of late.
Oh, yeah, and who is he up against right there?
Oh, this was the guy who toasted them back in week 3, Nick Westbrook-Ilm or whatever.
Yeah. I remember what he scored 2 touchdowns or something like that.
He scored 1 in this one. He scored 1 in the other, but he also drew 2 pass interference calls too. He had a big game.
Okay.
Yeah. He kind of cooked the Colts a little bit this year. If the Colts play them in the playoffs, they gotta lock him down.
Oh yeah.
Number 9, we got another Rocky Sin play. Rocky Sin's actually going to be the back half of this top 10. And I agree. I think I would have put all of his clips here in the back half as well. But I had to throw this one here because it was my favorite teach tape moment of just getting in that back hip, playing through the hands. We talked about it that week when they played the Jaguars. I was going crazy about this rep, and this was kind of the start of the new Rocky Sin we've seen.
Yes, it's when we started noticing, and we were like, hey, he's playing better. He didn't panic. He didn't get a flag. He played the hands. And it wasn't anything wrong with the play. I love the play. I think I probably said this is teach tape a couple weeks ago. Love the play. I think in comparison to some of the others on the list, I think they were just a little bit more impressive. And it may be because Rock's playing better. That's probably why. Because now the standard isn't so low for me. So
yeah, no, and I completely agree. Again, this was this was kind of the turning point for Rocky Sin right here, because we saw after this they had games against the Bills, game against the Bucks. This last one doesn't really count because it's, but he's been playing like a legit number one corner these past couple weeks, and this was kind of the play that kicked it off. So I definitely think it is worthy of being in this top 10.
Yeah.
But like you said, there's more impressive plays. There's interceptions. There's forced fumbles that are going to be a little bit higher here. But this is teach tape for how to react when you're in phase in that back hip pocket. You pinch into the sideline, and then you get your hand in there. I mean, it is just a teach tape rep. That is just, I love it.
Good stuff right there.
I still love watching it.
Finish.
And then we got another Rocky Sin play. It's kind of rocking. It's also George Odom, obviously. We got our first interception of the countdown, number 8 against the Buffalo Bills. Just really good positioning by Rock here, who reads the rep, reads the route, gets underneath, and then George Odom coming over top for the interception.
No. Yep, and this is a great play. Definitely a great play by him right here. And when I was ranking them, my eyes were all corner. And I hate that I'm not giving Odom more credit right here, because I mean obviously Rock did a good job in assignment, but it was more of a joint effort. Definitely more of a joint effort. And I guess that's probably why I had it at 8. Still was impressed by it. But yeah, you know what I mean. Just watching it here, I mean, great stuff right there. Cut off the inside, Odom jumps it. That's good stuff right there.
Yeah, very very strong play by both guys here, and it was kind of a game-changing play early on because the Colts were able to go up 2 scores right after this. Just a big moment in this game, and yeah, for me personally, when I kind of watch this play, I give a little bit more to Rock for making this play, but I mean Odom's his click and close, his drive out of his safety spot is very impressive as well. It's not trying to take away from George Odom on this play.
Oh, not at all. I mean, Rock didn't fall for the head fake at all. He cut it underneath. I mean, it was great by both of them. I mean, and then we saw the end result.
Yep. Our first turnover of the list, and quite a few coming more, which is actually good because early in the year, like who would have thought that we could have even had 10 plays to put on
this?
It
was dry. It was dry.
It was. Next one here, we have just another standard pass breakup. We got Kenny Moore in the slot. And this is one actually where technique-wise, is it great? Probably not throughout the whole rep here. We got him in the slot. Like he said, doing the thing. He's lunging. He's got the same foot, hand right there, like that you always get on these corners for. But then Kenny just shows how elite he is with the rest of the rep.
Yeah, he ran the route like that was so smooth. There was no hitch, there was no panic, there was nothing. And he just flowed right with it, didn't fall for anything. Boom. Oh, okay, cool. He's probably gonna wheel outside me here. I'm just gonna run the route better than him.
Yeah, just a perfect recovery, fluid throughout the whole thing. And he's kind of the example. I do a lot of work with quarterback mechanics, and at the end of the day, what we kind of say with mechanics is, as long as the ball gets where it needs to be on time, who cares about your mechanics? And it's kind of like that here with Kenny, where it's like, did you do everything great in this rep? No. But
did you win?
You won. He ran the route for the guy.
Yeah, that's smooth right there. I mean, I love that analogy because it goes back to finishing, executing, winning. We can critique all we want to, but that's what really matters right there is them not catching the football. So
yeah,
Kenny Moore with the clamps, man.
We know Kenny's going to be on this list quite a bit. This is his
his
defensive backfield.
Yeah, it'd be wrong. We almost renamed the show the Kenny Moore Show, but
yeah, we got to do everything we can to get him in the Pro Bowl this year.
Oh yeah,
he's making his case. We got another Kenny Moore sighting here at number 6. There's my number 6 there. This was from this past weekend, his interception. Very impressive play. Very first play of the game, actually. We got him over the slot here. They got the little boot action. He's kind of getting some depth, trying to take away anything over the top. And then
see I love that. I love how he settled. So I've been watching a ton of DBs, college DBs the last week or so. And a lot of zone droppers and guys like that, they get a little too high right there, and they never settle. So Kenny right there, he gets his depth, and then he settles so he can break. And this is It's funny because I remember the Colt Scout Moore, Jamie Moore.
Mm.
Like we did it at he was the one that took us through this drill at Pro Day. And so it's cool just as like, hey, pull to his side and then like, hey, we're gonna work on your zone drops right here. And Kenny just executes it perfectly right there and breaks that ball up. Did he get the pick?
No, he got the pick. They called it incomplete on the field, and then on
Okay.
review, they gave
Well,
him
yeah.
the
When
pick.
I went back and watched it, I saw them like their hands, like it was like no, and I was like, oh, okay, they reviewed it, but no, that was a great play. That was a great break. I love his footwork right there.
Yep, great break. I mean, Tyrod's doing everything he can to try to look downfield, get him off that spot,
Mm-mm.
and just a bad decision to try to test Kenny on that sideline there. Never test
Too
Kenny.
twitchy, too good,
Don't test
too
him.
good. He's gonna
He
get the
knows,
ball.
man. He knows what he's doing out there. Don't test him. This is
Yep.
just a great play,
Settle,
and
settle, settle.
it,
Drive.
it just set the
Oh,
tone for the whole game that it was just going to be a one-sided day the entire game.
shot out of a rocket.
Yeah, he's insane. Number 5, getting to our top 5 here, we got the lone Xavier Rhodes play, the Xavier Rhodes redemption play, because outside of this show being a very anti-Andrew Sandejo show, it has been kind of against
Oh yeah.
Xavier Rhodes a little bit.
There was a month where we were just on him. He's slow,
Mm-hmm.
he's old. We're giving him benefit of the doubt, and he gives a flag, and it's like, where's our guy at? So
Yep. And then this was the big play. I think it was on Sunday or Monday Night Football. I think this was the Sunday night game. Sunday
okay.
Night Football, late in the game. Colts are only up by 1 score. And it's against Deebo Samuel, and he just takes that ball away from him. Just
Debo'd him. He Debo.
Deebo. I mean, Deebo Samuel, there's not much more you could say about Deebo Samuel. One of the best receivers in football right now.
Yeah,
Just an
dominant breakout
outstanding
year.
player.
Total
Yep.
breakout year.
And you got Rhodes on an island up here. And we've seen Rhodes, some of the confidence just hasn't been there. Even though Debo's not a straight burner type, he's still a guy where it's like he could get on top of you quickly.
Yeah,
Because
he's a
Debo can do it
4-4
all.
guy. I mean, he's got
Yeah.
plenty of speed. I mean, he's got enough to hurt you at least.
Yep. But Rhodes is very confident, really good with his steps there, gets physical, gets his hand right in there, that left hand in there off the break. And that's what's able to knock it away. Gets his hand right in between the hands.
Yeah.
Just teach
You can
tape
see the
stuff.
white. See the white. Just
Yep.
rips.
Perfect play. And I would agree. I would definitely have this one in the top 5 too with my list. I mean,
Yeah.
This is just it has to
Well,
be because it was such a
so
big
much
play.
effort. Yeah, it was so big. Who it's against, I think
Mhm.
all that goes into consideration. I didn't necessarily put moments in the game because I didn't have like a clock or where when I made mine, but definitely, who was up against definitely played a part too.
Yeah, for sure. And Deebo Samuel, anytime you can get a good rep against Deebo this year, because if you had to put skill position players for offensive player of the year,
Mhm.
he's top 3 or 4.
Yeah, he's up there. When you look at receivers that dominate, I mean, obviously, I think Cooper Cup's kind of, since the Odell stuff, he's tapered off a little bit, and not like a direct indicator, but Cup, Debo, those guys, they started off the year so hot, and like it was weird. They were off to like a blistering pace.
Yeah, yeah, and he's actually done it more as a running back lately. That's
Yeah.
what that speaks to, his physicality. And Rhodes, like we always talk about every time, even when we were getting kind of too hard on Rhodes or kind of getting on him a lot. The one thing we could always say is like, he's a big physical corner and he's able to be big and physical. Some guys, and he shows it right here.
Yeah, there's definitely more personality, I think. You can always coach guys up and try to teach them how to press and be physical, but if you don't want to be, I compare it to like a boxer not wanting to let his hands go. And you can be in there all you want to. Like if you don't want to throw them, I mean, it won't matter. so
It's true.
yeah,
It's
Xavier's
true.
definitely going to be physical.
Yep. Even when he loses speed or loses technique and confidence, he's still going to be physical, and that's what wins this rep right here. And just the like you always say, finish and take and just that ball is yours. Just an outstanding play all around when you consider all that. And that's only number 5. So we got a couple more really nice plays ahead of us here. Next one's actually featuring our breakout corner of the year, Isaiah Rodgers. You knew he would have to be on this list a couple times. And coming at number 4, I think I had this one number 3. So I agree.
Okay.
This is just a great rep. It does come against the Texans, so maybe that's why you dropped it a little bit. It is
Trash
against
can.
Brandon Cooks, though. Hey, Brandon
Oh
Cooks,
yeah, no,
though.
yeah.
I mean,
Brandon Cooks is a dog, man. He's been the lone bright spot for
yeah,
the Texans.
yeah. Just a great play. Gets his receiver flat here. Then he gets that depth, turns the corner, gets up, and then just that.
So impressive, such an athletic play.
He's such an athletic player. Like it's crazy to put this at 4 or wherever we're
Yeah.
going to put this, but I mean it's such a nice rep, such a clean rep. How he turns
Oh yeah, no,
upfield.
it's super impressive. Just because one who it's against and have the wherewithal to get your head around and go get the ball. So many guys they turn around and they think it's casual. No, there's nothing sweet about playing corner. You need to be
Yeah,
ready to go make a play on the ball. Because
yeah. I was
Cooks,
actually
he can, he's an electric player. He'll go up and get it.
Yeah, I was actually looking at my old interview with him, and yeah, he did say he played some receiver
Mhm,
growing up, and that kind of helps with him going up and get the ball. But I'm
mhm.
like, I don't know why you didn't stick with receiver with
Oh,
some
I
of these
believe it.
catches he makes. I mean, look at this. Like that's a receiver right there.
Hey, I believe it. I definitely believe it, dog. I mean, he's, the interceptions he's had this year, they both been pretty impressive. Or was it that one, the almost interception that he had?
Yeah, almost won against
Was-
the Bills too.
yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. It's funny that I don't know if I told you the quote that he gave me though when I asked him why he played defense. He said, "Yeah, I'd rather tackle than be tackled."
Hey, better be the hammer than the nail, baby.
Yep, yep. So even though he's 170, I mean, he still gets out there and makes some plays, makes some tackles, and he has definitely been a star this year for the Colts. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
just
no, 100%.
it's crazy. It's just crazy what we've seen this year from him.
Well, and we saw flashes of it.
Hmm.
I think if anybody wants to go back, they can, go watch the old episodes. I mean, it's definitely something that you were hinting at early in the year, and then I noticed. And I think we're definitely two of the more early buyers in Isaiah Rogers stock.
Yeah, it's funny. After his rookie year, I was like, "There's something here." Like, I don't know if it's ever going to be anything more than like a sub
Hmm.
guy, but like, there's something
Oh
here.
yeah.
Guys just don't move like this. It's freaky, you
Hmm.
know. Even when he gets
Well,
beat, you can see it.
and there's guys who may come around and may have that type of athleticism, like say a Tony Brown, or those
Yeah.
type of guys that they run 10-1 and they run 4-3, and but they're stiff, or they don't run with that speed. Isaiah plays with every bit of the twitchiness and the speed, like all of it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And this is just a freaky play. And not even this is not his only place on this countdown either. So just great play there coming in number 4. Number 3, I'm actually shocked you put this one higher, or you put this one as high. I mean,
Mhm.
did you know that the return didn't count? I should have
No,
told you
no,
that.
no, no. So it was just because it was in the red zone and it was Lamar
Yeah.
Jackson.
Yeah. Okay.
So that
Yeah, I
Yeah,
get
that's
it.
huge. So yeah, area, who's it against, and timing. Like as a defensive player, you get the ball back in the red zone, bro. Like
Hmm.
that's gold. Like
It is.
you could have just saved the game. Like, and obviously this was a great game early in the year.
Yep.
They went at it, but this is just it was just a huge play for me because I respected it so much.
Yeah, yeah, and no, I completely agree. It would have been definitely. I think I had it at number 4, so I just flipped these last 2 plays. Uh, but our lone safety play on the countdown, which kind of points to the Colts maybe needing a safety in this next draft or free agent period. But Julian
Hmm.
Blackman, before he tore his Achilles in practice later in the season, just a great read on this read option here, crashing down, making Lamar Jackson keep that ball, and then punching the ball out as he's bringing it down. It's
Oh
just,
yeah.
yeah, like you said, great situation against a great player, and he makes a big time play.
Oh yeah. And that's everything that went into it because like he's so elusive. Like
Hmm.
Lamar makes NFL players look like high school kids. And and to be able to redirect because he's really inside, like that's an athletic play by Blackman.
Yeah,
Because you can just type in Lamar Jackson on YouTube and you'll see him kill people, stiff arm people right there in that same situation. He was able to punch the ball out, drag him down. Like I like that. I like that a lot.
yeah, huge play. And then we got to watch the return. Obviously, that should have counted. And then you can
Block
see Isaiah
somebody.
Rodgers. Look at Isaiah Rodgers' speed here, though.
Oh
Look at
yeah,
this.
just
This is Devin
toast.
Duvernay. Devin Duvernay.
Hey,
No one,
100-meter, 200-meter state champ in Texas, 4-star guy, like bona fide
no
track
chance.
stud. Yeah, toasted.
Insane. I remember watching this live because you look at this live right here. Look, Lamar. I mean, Lamar obviously is kind of having a transition, but they're pretty
But
even
shit, you
right
got
here.
Lamar Jackson and Devin Dunn. You got 2-4-3 guys.
Yep, and he's just gone.
Out of there. Out of there. He gave him a little hezzy. Out of there.
Yeah, I mean, he is a different level of speed. Different level of speed. And I wish it would have counted. If the return counted, this probably would have been number one.
Oh yeah, no, that's
just
cool.
because all
That's
around.
you.
But even without it, huge play by Julian Blackmon got the Colts a big lead going into the fourth quarter. Unfortunately, obviously that didn't stand, and they end up losing the game. But this is definitely worthy of defensive play of the year type standards in a typical year because it was that big of a play.
Oh yeah.
And again, just the return that should have been.
The return that never was.
I feel bad for anyone who started the Colts. I don't know why you would have started the Colts defense in fantasy, but you got robbed on that one.
They were top 10 for a while.
Yeah, I mean, they get the lead in turnovers force.
That's crazy.
They're on pace for over 40.
Oof.
Over 40.
That was their goal, right? That was the goal.
Their goal was 40, and we were kind of laughing at it early in the year, especially early on when we were watching the games. Like,
well, there was none.
Yeah, y'all got to get a stop first before you get say 40.
Oh yeah.
But the playmakers showed up, and we've seen it a lot recently. So number 2 here was a bit of a shock to me because in my mind, this plays by far and away number 1 for me. Okay. Even though I love what you put at number 1, I think that is obviously deserved number 2. But this play by Kenny Moore, I think, was just such an elite play from the slot. Just the awareness to recognize this in-breaking route by A.J. Brown. Knowing that the Titans want to attack that.
Well, put it like this. I gave them scores.
Yeah.
By the way, so I only sent you like half when I ranked them. I sent you like a scratch piece of paper and the order.
Yeah.
But to the left of that was like when I watched the video, I gave it like I put like a word that I thought of, and then I gave it a score. And like I think on this play, I said incredible play, and I put dash great, and then I think I gave it like a 9.1 or something.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And then on the other play that we're gonna watch, I said incredible, crazy play, and I gave it like a 9.2. And like it was, yeah, it was literally like it could have flip flopped if I would have watched the other one sooner or later. Like it could have changed. I think I just saw this one a little sooner.
Yeah. No, I mean, both elite plays. I completely get your ranking. I'm just saying this play is
that's freaky.
This is my play of the year right here for the Colts. Yeah. Like this is an insane play. Just
the spin, the footwork. It's like got his eyes in the back of his head. Now that's a freaky play. Like
you have to have so much confidence to pull off something like this. And I know we gushed over it when we talked about this play on that episode. But you have to have so much confidence to peel off A.J. Brown over the middle.
Oh yeah, I mean that's balls, bro. I mean
actually, yeah, that's actually right. That's what I said when I first introduced the play that he peeled off his guy and took A.J. Brown. No, he's peeling off of A.J. Brown.
A.J. Brown, yeah. So I'm gonna leave.
He's leaving A.J. Brown for who's this? George Odom or no? That's Carr Willis. He's gonna leave it. He's gonna leave A.J. Brown for his safety and peel off.
Hey, look, what was it? The Georgia-Bama game. They basically left Jameson Williams running across the middle of the field, and he toasted everybody.
Yeah. That's the example of that going bad. But
yeah, the kid only has 13 touchdowns on the year and 1,100 yards, and you leave him wide open. And he's just the fastest receiver in college football. A.J. Brown's one of the best receivers in the NFL, and you just leave him. No, I'm gone. I'm gonna go get this pick.
Yeah, you guys you have to trust your P's and Q's there. You have to trust what you're seeing on film, and this is just one hell of a play.
That's instincts, dog.
It is all instincts. It's freaky, and it makes when you're watching this live on broadcast, you're like, oh, that's just a horrible throw by Tannehill. But Tannehill,
you just see him jump it.
Yeah, like Tannehill's not making a bad read here. He's making the correct read. Kenny just steals it.
Yep.
Just a freaky play. I could watch this all day. Like outside of his one-handed pick, I think this is the best.
It's crazy because he's like peeking. He's like, boom. Yeah, I'm gone.
Yep, he sees that dig coming. Like look at the eyes right there. He's watching it coming. He knows it's coming, and he's gonna peel off.
That's crazy.
Just a speed turn too, where he's getting eyes on the quarterback too. He sees the ball coming out.
Whip feet, hands. Go get it.
Great play. Such a great play. But let's get
almost.
into number one. We actually talked about number one last
Was it last
week.
week?
Yeah,
And that
last
could be
week we
it.
talked about
It could have been recency bias. Who knows? Who knows?
maybe.
I remember what I felt when I saw the play last week, and I was like, "Whoa!"
It's
I was like,
freaky. It's freaky.
that's so
We got
hard."
Isaiah Rogers. We got Isaiah Rogers at number one. The breakout corner, and it's tough to take that away from Rock Ya-Sin because Rock Ya-Sin's been very good too. But I think when you take in the fact that we kind of always knew Rock had it in him,
Yeah.
maybe we didn't know that Isaiah Rogers had it in him. And
Well, he
this
wasn't
play
supposed
is
to. Where was he drafted?
sixth
Undrafted.
round.
6. Yeah.
Sixth
So
round.
he's 6. Like he's supposed to be a special teams guy, like filler. Like
That's what they took him for.
Yeah.
The special teams coordinator put in that draft pick, basically. From what I was told, basically Bubba Ventrone was like, "Yeah, I want this kid to be our returner." That was it. That was their whole plan for him. And now it's like,
Hey.
it's like hell.
Hey.
He's our first or second corner on the team right now,
Yep.
or well, outside corner behind Kenny, obviously. But he's playing some really good ball, and this play was outstanding. Like I said last week, Kenny basically told him pre-snap, they're going to try to shot play to Scotty Miller. And what Isaiah Rogers, I believe, said in his post game was, "I knew he wasn't going to go over top of me." You just know how freaky your speed has to be for that.
Well, you've got the GOAT. You've got the GOAT back there launching missiles. You got a burner in Scotty Miller, and you got Isaiah Rogers doing freaky stuff again, like being the receiver. Boom, I'm getting out of there. Okay, we got this little fake. Boom, he pushes off me a little bit. I'm right there with you. Watch this. I'm playing outfield, and I'm going to get the ball. Like,
and I knew when this happened live, I was like, Hagger's going to love this play because he turned into the receiver. And he turned into the receiver too.
Yeah, first of all, if you go to the end of it, 99% of DBs are falling. Like right there. They lose balance and they fall.
Yeah.
Right? They don't make the play. With a guy draped over his shoulder. If this was a receiver that was making this play, it'd be like all over like ESPN and stuff like that. But it was a DB, so it's like, oh, good pick. He threw the ball up. He ran the route. Like, and then adjusted. Yeah, man, that's insane. Body control, field awareness, ball skills, whatever you want. Yeah, like that's that. I love that play.
You know that combine drill where they have the receivers or they have the DBs backpedaling down the line, open one way, open the other, open one way, and then they break out. It kind of looks like it.
Yeah, so if you go boom, and we can do that in a half turn, boom,
and then turn, and then back the other way and makes the play.
So you're driving to the post, and you open up. Yeah, it'll test your hips for sure. It'll test your hips for sure.
I just again, like you said, you see guys who are fast. You see guys who run those 4.2s and stuff and play corner. And it's like they're just stiff as a board.
Yeah, they don't play well because they're so linear. They're usually just track guys, and they're all linear running guys. Like you can tell Isaiah's an athlete because he constantly demonstrates it.
Yeah, he's got that Dominique Rodgers Cromartie blood, where just freak, absolute freak. That's a crazy play. That's crazy.
That's insane.
And like you said, when you take into account you're playing against Tom Brady, and then people might scoff at saying Scotty Miller here, but Scotty Miller is a freaky athlete.
He's burning grass right there. Like
we saw Scotty in this game get pinched to the sideline by Rock and still beat him deep.
Yeah,
Scotty's a freak.
Yeah, there's uncommon that's not normal speed, bro.
Yeah, and Isaiah Rogers is not even somewhat threatened on this route.
They're just chilling, boom. I'm gonna run it with him. Center fielder. Easy money.
Crazy play. And again, I would have Kenny number one, but I am all for that play. That play was outstanding.
We were close.
We were close for sure. But I think it was fun going back through some of those plays. And I think the coolest thing, kind of thinking back on them, is I think we only had like one within the first 5 weeks or something.
Oh yeah,
it just shows how these guys have improved lately.
You remember it was the Kenny Run Stop show.
It was
early. It was early in the season.
We were talking run fits on the DB show. That's all we were talking.
And they were good ones, but that's not always the move.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. We got Tom Cravens here, gave us a like from Facebook. Appreciate you, Tom.
Oh yeah.
Tyler says, "Yo, what up, Tyler?" How you doing? And we got our boy Matt in here as always. Bigger need next offseason, safety or corner?
That's safety. I
I
mean,
think it's safety. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think when you look at, say, in a crazy word, you're able to get a good safety in 2 or 3, whatever it may be. And you look at Isaiah, Rock, and Kenny all there.
Mhm.
Are you going to draft a corner in the 2nd or 3rd round better? I doubt it. And so, I mean, when you can go get a quality safety, because first round caliber safeties are now being drafted in the 2nd round.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a safety draft in the 1st round in 2 years. The last 2, one of them has been a complete, he hasn't panned out. Let's say that, and then the other Savage has been pretty good.
Yeah.
But
Savage is
Abrams is not it.
good. No.
Banged up, injuries, whatever it may be. But then you go look at, what was it, last year? You had Holland. He's been playing well this year for Miami.
Yeah.
He was a first safety drafted, and who was the other guys coming off? I had them all written down, but I was just watching them. But those guys are playing decent football. And then the year before, obviously, Xavier McKinney, Duggar, Winfield, who was all the Delpy, obviously the Achilles.
I mean, if you even go back a couple more years, you got Jesse Bates on day 2.
Yeah,
You got
Jesse Bates is sitting in there.
Marcus Williams on day 2.
Terrell Burgess.
Yeah.
Like those guys, like all really good players. In 2nd, 3rd round, that essentially the top 65 picks is where like those guys are getting drafted.
Yeah.
And you can go get your,
even if it's a guy who's not like your starter
not
right
Sendejo.
away. Yeah, not hashtag not Sendejo. But like, even if it's a guy who's not like your everyday, like say you want Kari Willis and Julian Blackman still to be your 2 guys on like base downs or something, you still need I think they just need another guy who can cover over the top like a Julian Blackman. Like, and then you can bring Kari in, like, because we've seen issues with these linebackers in coverage the last couple years. Then you can bring Kari into the box maybe, and he's more comfortable around there.
It's a good safety class.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how deep people people have looked into this safety class, but it's a 1 through 10's pretty legit. Like I like it a lot more so than the last couple years. At least always the top 4 are always pretty good, but this year has a little bit more depth than I think in years past.
Yeah, I think the play that I'm kind of leaning towards is not like a veteran corner, but like a corner who's like mid to late 20s to be like that 4th corner, just to be like a solid guy who could play some snaps.
Like Alexander, maybe.
Yeah, like Mackenzie Alexander, or Akella Witherspoon if he hits, stuff like that, like those type of guys. Just to be like that 4th rotational guy, not like a guy like. Don't get me wrong, I think Xavier Rhodes has made some plays but the thing is with Xavier Rhodes, he's going to kind of demand starter snaps because of his reputation. Yeah. I don't want a guy like that to come in and take snaps away from Rodgers and Rock, but just a kind of a veteran guy to sub in there. Like,
oh yeah.
And I think the corner group is pretty good. Like I had questions coming into the year, but now I'm like, you know what? It's 6th round corner and a 2nd round pick guy over there playing well. Like Rock's finally playing well, and then a 6th round corner. I'm like, you know what? Give them the keys. Cool with it. They're playing well. Stats Matt. I'm assuming this is Matt. Did you just change your name, Matt? I think Matt just changed his name after that first question. Yeah, this is Matt, and then it says Stats Matt.
Maybe it's 2 Matts.
He's asking, do you think Hamilton will succeed? Then he's projected to go top 10.
Yeah.
He's one of those freaks, man.
Yeah,
he's a freak.
He's a good player. Like you hear every now and then, like unicorn type. Yeah, there's just not a lot of safeties who are 6'4", 218, 220, whatever he is. He's gonna test well. It's weird because you watch film on him and he doesn't completely wow you until he does. Like then he makes a play. Yeah. And you're like, okay, like you shouldn't have made that one, or like, he's good. Yeah, I think he'll be successful. Guys like him don't come around often. Obviously no player's perfect, but he's legit.
It's kind of like the Derwin type thing where it's like just too talented not to succeed. And even though Derwin in college, you could look at his film and be like, there's some things there that like, I remember there was a huge play where Jacoby Myers, who was a little known receiver at the time, crossed him up or whatever and had like a 60-yard touchdown, and everyone was like, Jacoby Myers destroying Derwin James. But
and these guys, like, people don't understand, like, a top 10 pick isn't perfect. They're
yeah,
just better than they either have like crazy physical traits. They're really good players, but like, of course, like those same top 10 picks have been starters for 3 years. Like, you know, they're good football players, but they do have flaws.
yeah,
That's why for all you people out here, put grades on these guys that you like. There's too many people that don't like. Okay, if I like a guy got into an argument, not argument, but just was making a point about was it DBs or receivers? And it was Derek Stingley, and I asked him. I said, what's your grade on him? And I didn't get a reply. Like, what? Because I have a grade on him. I don't know
because you already have all your film that you're going to be able to get
Yeah.
on him right now.
Yeah,
He's
and
done.
so that's already done. So I'm not gonna sit here and say, "Hey, this guy isn't good," or "This guy isn't that." Like, I have my report. I see where I think he's gonna go, where he compares to guys in the past, and he has a grade. I was like, if you want to talk about grades, let's talk about it. Because like I know how I view my guy. I don't think you have one.
Yeah,
Personally, I don't think you have a grade. So I was
no,
like, you partake in this conversation.
yeah, please tell me like where the guy wins, where the guy doesn't win, and stuff like
Yeah.
what trait. The big thing for me lately that I've kind of come big with in scouting is like, what is the special trait this guy brings?
Yep.
Because that's so much of, like, you see this with all the guys who hit. If they hit in the first round, the second, third, fourth, they just have some special trait. You know, like George Kittle, for instance. I feel like all of draft Twitter was huge on him.
Yeah.
But the NFL wasn't, and it's like, well, production wasn't.
Because like when he was in, when he played, like, because he was banged up a lot, but when he played, he dominated.
Yeah,
And so it
freak
was just
athlete, great blocker, and it was like
one
we
of the
all
things
kind
that
of
you
saw
have
it.
to see. Yeah, you have to see it, or because what did he say? The guy, I believe, because we're on Stingley, the guy said he didn't play good against UCLA, and I was like, take it into context. I was like,
Yeah.
He was playing inside leverage with no help underneath. He was lined up over number 3. The guy ran a crosser or a shallow dig, whatever you want to call it. He catches the ball. He runs into his other safety who's coming down, and they knock each other off the tackle. The guy runs 20 more yards and scores.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, was it a perfect play? No. Did I crucify him? Come on.
Yeah.
Like, you think I'm going to ignore the other 25 great plays he has in coverage against some of the best players in the country? Yeah, Devante Smith took his lunch money, but he took everybody's lunch money. Like I'm not. Like, go look what he did to George Pickens. Like, come on. Like, he made him disappear. So,
yeah, and it's funny because you're someone who's like, I don't want to say you're lower on Stingley than most, but you're someone, you and I talking have kind of been like,
yeah.
You know,
Stingley,
Stingley,
he's good. Like, he's really good. And I'm critical of him. I find myself being critical of a lot of guys, but like I'm not like, I'm not gonna sell my soul. Like, would I take Derek Stingley over Patrick Surtain? Probably not.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
You know, that's because like I just felt like Pat's like a prototype corner, and he's big.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he's a stud. But yeah, it's just so much with this. People don't understand cornerback play. And that's a big reason why we do a show like this is to talk about this stuff and show kind of our thought process and stuff where it's like, yeah, the guy got beat on Sunday, like the Rock Ya-Sin versus Scotty Miller one from last week that we talked about. Everyone was like, oh, same old Rock getting back to his pass interference and stuff, and it's like, man, he won that rep. Like 9 times out of 10, he's winning that rep. It's just the quarter, Brady threw it up and it was kind of a sell job by the receiver. And
even like AJ Terrell. So like I wasn't like, I think they kind of reached, the Falcons did in the first, but like I never thought he was bad ever.
Yeah.
Like if somebody took him late in the first, I'd be like, oh, okay. I just think he was I didn't think he was a top 20 cornerback, like value wise. And he's turned into a really good pro, and people were like, yeah, but he wasn't that good. I'm like, nobody caught more than like 45, 50 some yards on him in college his last year, except for Jamar Chase. And it was like on a 62-yard play where he pushed off.
Yeah.
Like, you have to watch the game. You have to watch the game. Like, he's not soft. He's from Atlanta. Like, he's surrounded by great football players. Like, he's good at what he does, but that matters. Context matters. Rock Ya-Sin getting that flag was not typical Rock. Like, you have to watch film, not the game. Watch film.
Watch the film. I mean, look, again, bring stats for context, but bring the film for if you really want to get into it and actually talk about this stuff, film is what's going to tell you. And you got to actually have an eye for it too. There's some people who post highlights and stuff, and it's just
it's frustrating. What are we watching? What are we watching?
Yeah, what are we watching? Matt gave us an explanation here. He said Andrew and Brenton from the Colts podcast told me that I need to change the name because I'm their stats guy during their podcast. Andrew and Brenton are our other podcast on our network here. So that's cool, Matt. I didn't realize you were doing that stuff for them. That's awesome. You're always you're our favorite listener here. So Matt had a couple more things here saying hearing Kenny on McAfee was pretty sweet. McAfee just has a way to open guys up. Yeah, I got to watch that still. I know Kenny's done a lot of media stuff this week. He was like the star on Hard Knocks like last week.
Well, he gave you the what was the reply? God, what he said? God spoke to.
Kenny always shrugs me off, man. Did I ever tell you the story of I got added to this random bracket of like what was it, like draft Twitter follows or something from this random site, and I was like a 4 seed because of my following, and I was like, all right, that's cool. Or they did like this whole tournament bracket where they had everyone vote or whatever, and the guy who went against me in the finals apparently has all these contacts with guys he's interviewed, like NFL players and stuff.
Yeah.
So he was reaching out to these NFL guys that he had interviewed saying like, oh, quote this tweet and tell people to vote for me. So Kenny quotes it saying, vote for the other guy against me. And dude, the Colts fans in his mentions were just like, you can't do this to Zach. You can't.
Zach's our guy. That's our boy.
I was like, dude, Zach has been your guy since like 2018, like before anyone knew you.
That's brutal. Hey, I bet that one hurt. That one hurt a little bit.
It got him.
That's crazy.
Kenny sent me like a message on Twitter being like, all love, I'm sorry. Kenny gives me the cold shoulder.
The Zach Hive came at him.
Yeah, Kenny gives me the cold shoulder sometimes, and I was hoping to get a little bit of a breakdown on it, but no, God spoke to him or something.
Oh, that's funny, man.
He's a good character, and I love seeing him get the positive press lately. I know with Hard Knocks.
I saw somebody say he should be paid like a cornerback one. Was it you?
I mean, he's already getting paid pretty good.
Well,
his contract is.
Somebody. I saw somebody was like, man, Kenny Moore needs to be paid like a cornerback.
No, that was that Darius Slay? It was either Darius Slay or I know Quadri Diggs talks really good on him on Twitter too, or Quadri. I think it's Quadri Diggs is what he is. So, but Kenny's already getting paid pretty well. He's getting paid currently. I mean, it's not cornerback one, but his contract is like $8-9 million a year. Like it's not bad.
Okay.
It's pretty solid.
That's smooth.
Yeah. So here it is. McAfee said it, and then Darius Slay said it too. Yeah, I thought it was Darius Slay who said it.
I saw it. Yeah, I know I saw it from a couple of people.
Yeah, and that's the thing that we always talk about with Kenny, where it's like he may never get a Pro Bowl in his career, which would suck. Like he should get at least one. Maybe we'll see like a Chris Harris thing where it's like once the reputation grows later in his career, he'll start getting a bunch of them.
Yeah, he'll be respected. Like because Chris Harris was like quietly like one of the best cornerbacks in football for like 8 years.
Yeah. Well, it's the thing. It's just like whenever I talk to college prospects or I talk to, other guys in the NFL or, every time I tweet something good, you'll see Quadri Diggs and Darius Slay and all these guys. People know. They know. Players know. Receivers know. Opposing quarterbacks know. Other DBs across the league know. They study Kenny Moore. Other nickel corners study Kenny Moore to get better. I mean, Teron Johnson said it. Mike Hilton, I think, has said it. These guys have talked about it. Other nickels.
Yeah, he's good at what he does, man.
Yeah, he's great at what he does. One of the best in the league. If I would say he's the best. I mean, he's a stud. And then Matt has one more final thing here where he wants to praise me a little bit. Zach has no chance these days with Colts Twitter because they don't like realistic analysts. If an analyst isn't pure optimism on their side, they don't care how good they are.
Oh yeah.
Look, man,
I'm come for you.
They come for me either way. Even if I'm too positive, they say that I'm too positive. If I'm too negative, they say I'm too negative. It's just how it is.
You can't win those.
The best thing that we can do, and why we do a show like this, is you got to add film to everything you say, and that's always been a big part of what
it backs it up.
Yeah, it's always been a huge part of what I do. Is everything that you're going to see me say, unless it's like an anti-Darius Leonard thing because I can't touch that topic. Besides that, though, I'm going to show you why I'm saying it. And that's always been a huge part of what I do. Is everything that you're going to see me say, unless it's like an anti-Darius Leonard thing because I can't touch that topic. Besides that, though, I'm going to show you why I'm saying it.
Yeah.
And that's why this whole show exists. Why did Rocky Sin get a pass interference there? Well, here's what I saw in the play, and
We'll
here's
show
me
you
and
got the
Hag breaking
evidence.
it down. This is what we think about. So it's just like, you can call me pessimistic or optimistic, but I'm going to show you why.
No, that's all you need to do, man.
Yeah.
That's
So Matt, we always appreciate you in the comments here, watching the show. Tyler, we appreciate you jumping in here too. Marlene, I don't know, what does VOY mean?
I don't know. But I saw it and I was like, I don't know who Voy is, or
we're too old, man. We're too old.
Hey, yeah. She got us. They got us.
I know what FYI means.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Marlon or Marlene.
I don't know. I know what FYI means for your information. I don't know what.
Oh yeah.
Very. I don't know.
Okay, all right, we're gonna let that one go. We're gonna let that
go. We're gonna let that go. We'll the kids in the comments tell us. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Next week we're gonna be back with another fun episode. We're gonna rank the Colts DBs on the season according to just our overall study of their play throughout the year. Who we think has been the best DB, who we think has been the worst DB to suit up for the Colts.
Can we just say it now?
I don't even think Sendejo's not going to be worst. He's not going to be worst because I'm going to show you the one play that one guy played against the Ravens, because we didn't do into the DB film room the week of the Ravens game where this guy played one play, and he's going to be the worst. But after that, it's Sendejo. The guy's not on the team anymore.
Oh,
but
my bad.
I'll show you. But we're going to rank the Colts DBs on the season. Expect a lot of good Kenny Moore stuff, a lot of good Rocky Sin, Isaiah Rodgers. Don't come if you're a big Andrew Sendejo fan. We'll have him a little bit lower than what you would like. But be sure to tune in next week, guys, for another episode of Into the DB Film Room.